Hi, it's Bree. Today I'm going to be taking you through a chest arms workout. We split up our week in 5 days. Today is heavy chest arms, but since we're all quarantined and all the gyms are closed, we are going to be doing a home workout. First, I'm going to be mixing up pre-workout. This is Pathogen Apocalyptic pre-workout. This is the first time we're trying it. It is a high stimulus one because Ross and I are both pretty immune to caffeine, and so it takes a lot to actually affect us. Alright, so for our first set, we are going to be doing 3 different movements. The first movement is dumbbell bench on the ground. This is actually better for people who have shoulder problems. Laying on the ground, it limits the range of motion from your shoulder, so you can't bring it back too far or anything. And then next we will be doing hammer curls, and then for the third one we will be doing kickbacks. The way we do our sets is 4 sets of 20 repetitions of each movement, and so if you need to do less, you can. Alright, so for dumbbell bench, I'm going to be using 15-pound dumbbells. You can use whatever you have at home, all that toilet paper you stockpiled, but actually something heavier if you can, cans or just really anything you can find around the house. So for these, you'll lay on your back and you'll be straightening your arms, but just make sure not to hyperextend them, and then tap both arms to the ground and make sure you do your movements slow and controlled. And we'll be doing 20 of these. Alright, now we're going to be doing hammer curls. With these, you just start with your arms extended and bring the weight up. With these, make sure when you're lifting the weight, you don't swing the weight up. Make sure you do it slow and steady and in a controlled movement. I'm aiming for 20 repetitions, and just do as many as you can. Our last movement of this superset is going to be tricep kickbacks. With this, you bend over slightly, make sure you don't hunch over, keep your spine straight, and then raise your elbow, and you're going to be extending your arm. But make sure when you extend it, you squeeze this muscle as tight as you can, and make sure you're not swinging the weight. Make sure it is a controlled movement. We will be doing 20 repetitions of each arm. Alright, so for that superset, make sure you go through it taking as little rest as possible. And while you're setting up for your next superset when you're finished, then you can get a little rest. Alright, so for the second superset, we will be doing push-ups, tricep dips, and rotating curls. Again, like the superset before, we will be doing 20 repetitions of each movement, 4 rounds. Alright, so like I said before, for our first movement of our next superset, we will be doing push-ups, and I'll also show you an assisted version of this. So for these, make sure you position yourself on your toes and your hands, and make sure you are straight from your shoulders, through your hips, to your knees. Make sure you don't stick your butt up or bring it down too far. And when you go down, bring your elbows to a 90-degree angle. And then for the assisted version, you just place your knees on the ground and do the same thing. Alright, so for the second movement, we will be doing rotating curls. These are similar to hammer curls, except while you start, you have your palms facing your legs, and then as you come up, you make your palms face your chest. And make sure you do these slow and controlled. And when you're doing these, make sure, again, you're not swinging the weight up. Make sure you do it slow and steady. Alright, so our third movement of this superset, we are going to be doing tricep dips. For these, you will place your hands on the edge of the chair or table or whatever you're using, and then extend your legs. And you will lower yourself down so your elbows reach a 90-degree angle. Make sure when you're doing these, you keep your back close to the chair. To make this a little bit easier, you can bring your feet in We're almost done. So for our third and final superset, we will be doing 3 movements again. The first one will be dumbbell flies. The second movement will be banded curls, and the third movement will be overhead tricep extensions. All right, so for dumbbell flies, this will be our first movement in this superset. We will be doing 20 repetitions again, and then 4 rounds of each movement. So I would recommend using a lighter weight for this. You will lay down on your back and bring the dumbbells up. You don't want your arms locked out for this. You can have a slight bend to them. You will slowly and controlled lower your arms to the ground and tap them to the ground, and then bring them back up. All right, now we're going to be doing banded curls. We just picked up these bands from Walmart. They're super cheap. You step on the center of your band, and for these, you just bring your arms up. You don't need to rotate your arms, and just make sure you're doing this slow and controlled. And do 20 repetitions. For our third and final movement, we will be doing overhead extensions. You can use a little bit heavier weight for this. You will just grab the weight at the top of it and then start with your arms extended. You will bring your arms to a 90-degree angle and make sure you just try to tighten your muscles as you bring the weight up. All right, now that you're done with all of your supersets, we are going to do a cool down. We like to do abs as our cool down every day, so for these we will be doing sets of 30 of each movement. And first we're going to do crunches, then side crunches, and then heel touches. All right, so for crunches, like I said, we will be doing 30 movements. Make sure when you do these, you don't use your neck. Make sure you lift your shoulders off the ground and tighten your abs as you come up. Next, we will be doing side crunches. You will be doing 30 repetitions of each side. So for these, I like to just rest my arm on the opposite shoulder, and I use this one to kind of bring myself up. Make sure when you do these, you lift your shoulder off the ground and just tighten the side of your abs. We'll just do the exact same thing with the other side. All right, and for our final movement, we will be doing heel touches. You will do 30 taps of each side. With these, I just raise my shoulders off the ground and keep my abs constantly tightened, and I'll just tap the foot of each side, and you'll tap each foot 30 times. And make sure you keep your abs tightened this whole time. All right, that's all we're doing for abs. If those are easy for you, we like to do multiple sets of those, so just do as many sets as you're able to. All right, now after every workout, Ross and I take protein. It's not necessary, but it just helps you build muscle easier. I either mix it up just with almond milk and Ross mixes it with milk, or I make this special protein drink that I'll show you. I just add some ice, I don't really measure it, and then I split a banana between both of ours. All right, and then Ross's, I'll add 1.5 scoops of protein because that's what he normally takes. And I just take 1 scoop. And then one thing I like to add into these is spinach, because I don't necessarily like the taste of it, but this gets you your greens without having to taste it. And I just add just a handful into each. I don't really measure it. And then I also add peanut butter. I just do a heaping spoonful because I like the taste of it. And then lastly, milk for Ross. And I use almond milk, and I just buy the unsweetened vanilla because it's low calorie and I think it tastes good. And I don't measure this out, I just pour as much as I think I need, and if it's too thick when I blend it, I just add a little more. We hope you enjoyed our video. If you have any questions or workout requests or recipe requests, just comment and like and subscribe.